In their attempts to turn Donald Trump into a villain, the Democrats and the press, but I repeat myself, have again and again tried to portray lowlifes as truth-telling heroes. Rogue FBI agents trying to subvert the Constitution, blackmailing strippers trying to squeeze out a couple of extra bucks, and sleazy McCarthyite lawyers and pals who will say anything to bring down the president. All of them have been held up to us as saviors of the nation from Orange Man bad. Today, it's Michael Cohen's turn, and so as Trump's sleazy former fixer testifies before Congress, will be treated to another round of blockbuster walls closing in end of the Trump administration impeachment headlines, which tend to amount to little more than raging, bitter leftists saying they're supposed to be quiet fantasies out loud. But aside from obscuring what is so far the major scandal of this administration, namely the Department of Justice conspiracy to overturn the election, it also shows the left's failure, and indeed the right's failure, to ask what's probably the most important political question of our time. Why did Trump win? What's he got that both the Democrats and the Republicans have not got? And what can the rest of us do to get some? And I have a couple of ideas about that. Interesting column by Holman Jenkins Jr. in the Wall Street Journal today. He's a really good writer, not a big Trump fan, but a very smart writer. And the column is called "The Media Will Reelect Trump." And he's talking about all this hysteria, everything going on. And this is what he says. He says, it takes no heroism to oppose Trump. His statements are easily mocked for not conforming to the expected hypocrisies. He supplies his enemies more extracurricular targets than Bill Clinton did. He is universally reviled by elite institutions, including the media. Except for his knack for turning their hatred into lemonade, his only asset is his rapport with an unrich, unconnected voter segment that falls far short of a majority. Indeed, it is hard to explain how Mr. Trump can simultaneously be such a menace and such a pushover that every Democratic office holder in the country is thinking, if only I can stumble into the nomination, I'm sure to be the next president. The answer, of course, is pundit vanity. Mr. Trump is a threat to democracy because writers opposing him are then very important people. If he's a threat, then the writers who oppose him are very important people. Our wonderful English language gives us a perfectly good word for major media interpretations of the Trump phenomenon. That word is fatuous. When historians weigh his well-advertised nature versus the fantastic overreaction to his election, their first question will be, how did he become president? Voters must have had something in mind when they pulled the lever for somebody so seemingly unsuitable. That, to me, is so obvious, and I feel the right especially has not acknowledged the failure of conservatism that let Donald Trump rise to the top, that there were things there were people conservatism was not talking to whom it should have been talking. And, Ronald Reagan talked to them. I think this is the thing that we lost. The think tanks lost them. The people lost them. All those people who had been forgotten about in the middle of the country, who should be natural conservative voters, we left them behind. Yesterday I played this cut by Bill Maher that shocked even me. And I have respect for Bill Maher because he's for free speech. He speaks honestly when he talks about the threat from Islam. But the thing he said, what shocked me about it was not that he said it and not that he thinks it, because I know they all think it. It shocked me that he couldn't hear himself, that he couldn't hear what he was saying to half the country, the snobbery, the disdain. And this is part of the reason. Let's play it again, because it's just, to me, it's just such an amazing clip. Let's play that again.
The blue parts of America are having a big prosperity party, while that big sea of red feels like their invitation got lost in the mail. And they still use the mail. They turn on the TV and all the shows take place in a few hip cities. There's no Real Housewives of Toledo or CSI Lubbock. There are no red carpets in Wyoming, and no one ever asks you, who are you wearing? Because the answer is always Target. There are two Americas, and it seems like one is where all the cool jobs are, where people drive Teslas and eat artisanal ice cream. We have orchestras and theater districts and world-class shopping. We have Chef Wolfgang Puck. They have Chef Boyardee.
I mean, just the dripping disdain for his fellow Americans, for ordinary people who go about living, who should be part of his audience, who should be the people he's talking to, but he's not. And he represents Hollywood. He represents the press. He represents the New York Times, CNN, ABC, NBC. All of those people are represented by what he said. He is speaking for all of them. You can't make that mistake. Where do the people get a voice? Where do they get a voice if not from somebody like Donald Trump? Now, this is the first part of this. I mean, I've said this before, so I don't want to go on about it forever, but it is important. The silencing of people, the intimidation of people, the idea that if you say men and women are different, you lose your job, or you lose your Twitter platform, or you get thrown off Facebook. The idea that if you say, I have problems with Islam, you're suddenly banned from Facebook. The race intimidation. I mean, this is a big deal, because this is one way in which I feel that Trump and I are in the same camp, is that we do not feel that black people are special. We feel that they're just like ordinary everybody else people, and that's a radical opinion now. That's a radical opinion. You have people who don't like black people. You do have some bigots left, but you also have these people who think there's some special thing that must be done for blacks. And I don't agree. I think when you treat people specially because of their race, you harm them. I think that the Native Americans are the perfect example. When you see what is going on their reservations, you think, why do they have reservations? Why not just make them American citizens and let them suffer with the rest of us, give them ordinary problems? All that intimidation, all that silence, what Trump is meant to break through, but it's more than that. And this is the major failure on the right. It is a question of meaning. We are suffering a meaning crisis in this country. We are suffering a crisis of loss of meaning. That's why people are taking opioids. It's not for pain killing. It's because of a crisis of meaning. And it may well be that the meaning, that there's more of a feeling that things are going well in the cities, like Bill Maher says. But why is that? It's because Obama and everybody before Obama, including conservatives, abandoned those people, saying, oh, well, the economy is going to be so good, free trade, global trade is going to make the economy so good that, yeah, you will lose your job, but a child in Sumatra will be allowed to make my telephone for 5 cents an hour. And so that's going to make everybody richer, and we'll give you some of it. We'll give you a guaranteed income. Go away and die of opioids. That's a meaning crisis. That's a crisis of people saying, we're the future. We in the cities, we're the future. We in New York, we're the future. You're the past, die. You're the past, die. You say that to 64 million people, you're going to hear from them. You're going to hear from them. They're still there, and they've got to vote. And I think there's so many people who are hungry for this meaning. Conservatives tend to say that your meaning should come from yourself, should come from your religion, should come from your family, should come from your community. Absolutely true. All of that is absolutely true. But government also supplies meaning because people see meaning in their leadership. They turn to leaders for meaning, and there's nothing you can do about that. Clinton was right when he quoted Proverbs, without vision, the people perish. If the leaders don't have vision, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you think the president, that you as a conservative, a thoughtful conservative, you don't think the president should be important. You think he should be Calvin Coolidge, a small guy. Ultimately, in a world with television in it, in a world where we can all see the government every day and where they're going to be reporting on it every day, those people are going to be figureheads. Figureheads represent the country. That figurehead has to have meaning. Trump has delivered that with his Make America Great Again slogan. It's an economic slogan. It is a little bit backward looking, Make America Great Again. It is about, having jobs, bringing jobs back, bringing back the economy that everybody loved because it let people rise. It was the high tide that lifted all ships. People say on the left, oh, that's bigotry because back then people were racist. I don't think that's what Trump means. I don't think that's what he's talking about. I think he means bringing back that economy where we were the engine of the world. That's a vision. That's a vision. I think we need more of a vision. I really do think we need to be talking about what the future is going to be like, about what technology is going to be doing. It is amazing to me. It is amazing to me that when we talk about technology, we only talk about fear. We never talk about hope. We never talk about, hey, how do we get to Mars? How are we going to build fortresses and cities on other planets? Those are things that when you talk about them, people laugh at you. You can't run on those things. But that's the kind of vision that we're looking for. That's the kind of meaning that people are looking for, and it ain't there. And the Democrats' vision is small. I make fun of Alexandria Occasional Cortex because she's such a moron. She's such an ignoramus. But But she is also offering a vision. She is offering a vision. It's a stupid vision. It's a small vision. It's an envious vision, but it is a vision. And that, let's play this clip. This is just two cuts of her we put together just to show you what's at the core of her vision.
Maybe we shouldn't be eating a hamburger for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, let's keep it real. Down. It really comes down to the question of, isn't 10 million enough? Like, when does it stop?
Yeah, when it's too much
right?
money, too much.
Like, at what point is it immoral that we're building Jeff Bezos a helipad when we have the most amount of homeless people in New York City?
Some of those homeless people might have gotten a job at Amazon if it weren't for people like her. But listen to the smallness, the envy. You shouldn't be eating a hamburger. I'm here. You're a congresswoman. She's a minor congresswoman. I'm here to tell you what you should be eating. I'm here to tell you how much money you have. Now listen, you should have. Now listen to Ronald Reagan's farewell speech and listen to the vision he put forward.
Ours was the first revolution in the history of mankind that truly reversed the course of government, and with three little words: we the people. We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car, and we decide where it should go and by what route and how fast. Almost all the world's constitutions are documents in which governments tell the people what their privileges are. Our Constitution is a document in which we the people tell the government what it is allowed to do. We the people are free. This belief has been the underlying basis for everything I've tried to do these past 8 years.
So, that too is a vision. It's a vision that never dies. It's a vision that is eternal, our freedom. But it's something that in this new age, we are going to have to adapt that vision to technology, to the robots that are coming, to all the things that are making it more difficult for people to have jobs. It is not going to be enough to tell them, oh, we'll give you a guaranteed income, go take your opioids. That ain't going to happen. How are we going to mobilize these people? This is what conservatives should be talking about and thinking about. How are we going to give these people a purpose in life, in their work, because it's only work that does that. And by the way, it's not about money. It's not about money. I think about this all the time when feminists say things like, oh, if a homemaker was actually paid for the work she did, she'd make, $100,000. No, she wouldn't. The actual physical labor that a homemaker does probably wouldn't cost you that much if you hired somebody to do it. But what she does is priceless. What she does has a value that money just simply cannot cover. I mean, that is why people rise up, children rise up and call their mothers blessed. That's why husbands adore their wives and respect their wives, because they know they bring things into their life that you can't pay for. That, and that's meaning too. It's not about just the money. It's not about the jobs. It's about the meaning that gives people. And even if you're sweeping the streets, even if you have a menial job, that can have meaning if you feel you're part of something bigger, part of a country that's moving forward, that's moving into the 21st century with a vision. That vision is on the left, the vision is small, mean, backward, retrograde, and controlling. On the right, I feel that it has abandoned so many of those people to whom Trump speaks, and we need them. We need to bring them with us. They are a major, major part of America. And that's why Trump has won. And I don't think the right or the left is really thinking about it in the way they should.